Surprisingly, I have seen a lot of people ever since Tyreek Hill came out and said that he basically wants out of Miami. A lot of Cardinals fans have been saying very vocally that they would love to have him on the team. Me personally, I am not on that boat, and I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys why in today's video. But before I do, man, let me know down in the comment section below before I give my opinion whether you want Tyreek Hill or whether you want to stay far away, man. But let's go ahead and dive into this and give you my thoughts. And if you haven't seen the clip, we're going to go ahead and start with that first before I give you guys any insight.
There's a lot of things that, I need to reassess. Just got to do what's best for me and my family, dog. If that's here or that's wherever the case may be, man, I'm out, bro.
I mean, you thinking about leaving here?
If it is, hey.
As you guys saw in the clip, he said there's a lot of things I need to reassess about my career. He said that Miami basically falling out to 8-9. He said I got to do what's best for me and my family, whether that's here or wherever the case may be. I'm finna open that door for myself. I'm out, bro. It was great playing here, but at the end of the day, I gotta do what's best for my career. I'm too much of a competitor to be just out there. Now, Tyreek, the funny thing about this is you went to Miami for money. You had the opportunity to win games in Kansas City, take a little bit cheaper of a contract, and you could have been that competitor that you say you are. But instead, you went to Miami, chased a bag, went to a desirable destination, and now you're not winning games. You can't be mad. You got to live on the bed you're dying on. I think Dan Orlovsky said it pretty well. You can't leave the winner for money and then complain when you don't win. This is quoted perfectly. Dan Orlovsky has been hitting things right on the head as of recent. Like, you literally left the best situation in football. In the entirety of the NFL, you left the best situation where you have a head coach cemented, a Hall of Fame head coach, by the way, one of the best tight ends to ever play the game alongside you, and the best quarterback in the NFL, and you decided to leave because you weren't getting the max money that you wanted. And now guess what? You're living and you're dying in Miami right now, and a team will trade for you. I completely understand that, but I'm hoping it's not us. And funny enough, he did change his X-profile picture to this of Antonio Brown leaving, so it is basically set in stone. If that quote didn't already cement it for you, he wants out. He is out of Miami. Miami, I feel bad for you. This is Jimmy Butler now and Tyreek Hill. But at the end of the day, you might not even care about Tyreek because he hasn't really done much for you. He had a fantastic season, I believe, in 2023, but like the drop rate is through the roof. That's kind of why I want the Cardinals to stay away from him. He's 30, about to be 31 years old. He's not in his prime anymore. The drop rate is getting higher and higher every single season, and I'm just not a fan. Like, plays like this right here are why I don't want him. Just wide open passes dropped, and that is not the kind of guy we need at 31 years old. When you take into account that he said this a year ago, he said, I'm going for 10 years. I'm going to finish out this contract with the Dolphins, and then I'm going to call it quits. So what? Are we going to have him for a couple more seasons and then just have him walk away? That's basically saying the Cardinals are going to win a Super Bowl in these next 2 years, and we should go all out. And that's just not the position we're in. We need to build young, go get free agents that help and fit the timeline around 27 to 29 years old, get some veterans, and Tyreek Hill is not that guy. He's going to be 31 next year. That is not the vibe. That is not the move. And if you do bring a veteran, I would rather have it be an established guy who is still productive, maybe like a Khalil Mack. I'm just going to throw that name out there. I'm not saying that is the guy, but like somebody like that. A trusted veteran who you know is going to give his all and is able to stay on the field and be productive. Tyreek Hill, to me, is not that. I understand why you guys want him. He's a deep threat, would pair great alongside Marvin Harrison Jr., but guess what? The problems don't want it in Arizona. The culture don't want it in Arizona. Like, statistically or like fit-wise, I could understand why it's desirable, but I am so good. Stay away. Then we could also talk about his contract. We have money, but we're going to be taking on a lot of this salary. I do not want that whatsoever, and I know it might not be the worst thing in the world, but as you guys see in 2026, that base is 29, almost $30 million with a $51 million cap hit. That is not something I want on my team. Not a fan of that whatsoever. He's going to be taking up 17% of the cap. And although we have the money, this isn't the kind of talent that I want to bring in. I'm good on this. Build the trenches. We just watched this Cardinals team struggle. The offensive line went down and banged up, and we had nobody to come in here. Get some interior help. And then at the same time, go get defensive linemen. Go get an edge. We need so much, and wide receiver is not somebody that we should just allocate $31 million, $30 million, whatever it's going to be. We should not allocate all of our money into him. If you want, honestly, I wouldn't even be opposed to drafting a receiver in the first or second round. Now, that is a controversial take, but if the talent is gone, like at edge and defensive tackle that you don't want in the first round, either trade for an edge or draft another receiver, because we do need a wide receiver too, but Tyreek Hill is just not that guy. You can get somebody for a lot cheaper and a lot younger that is going to still be very productive for us, and that's not him. And before you guys come at me, he was being problematic for the entire year, and he was dropping crazy quotes. He was excused from practice because of an illness, but then went on live on TikTok that day running his clothing store. Today after the game, he leaves his final interview of the season and basically lets the world know he's done with the Dolphins. This is all coming from a leader of the team, and I agree with Finn Central right here. This is unacceptable. This is not a good look, and for a team that trades for him, yes, he could probably be a very productive football player, and Miami is going to get rid of him. You do not want a cancer in the locker room. The Dolphins finished 8-9 after Tua basically died on the field, and guess what? He came back, and that team went as Tua went. So Tyreek, I mean, it was a very unfortunate situation for him early on in the year, but Tua came back. Either he doesn't trust Tua, doesn't trust the organization, or he just wants consistency, and yes, I understand it, but again, the Cardinals are not in position where we're a receiver away from competing for a Super Bowl. We need to build the trenches. We have a lot of money. Invest it in there, and you will see this football team become a lot better before you spend $30 million on a wide receiver. But in case you guys wanted to see some of the trade packages that were being floated around by 33rd Team, some of the trade destinations were Arizona, the Chargers, and the Raiders. I could honestly see the Raiders, but the Chargers and the Cardinals, I really just don't see it. Like, the Chargers kind of want big body guys who can run block. Tyreek Hill is not one of those guys, and yes, it's a deep threat and a match made in heaven if you want to say that with Justin Herbert's arm. But I just can't see them being a scheme fit. Arizona, I do see him being a scheme fit, but again, I'm not giving up a 3rd and a 4th round draft pick to take on that contract. That is just not happening in my eyes. If it does, gonna be a little bit upset. So I don't see any of these really working out besides the Raiders. You guys can let me know down in the comment section below, but I could honestly see a reunion with Kansas City. That would make sense to me. I could see a team like Dallas, like Washington. Like, there's other teams that I could legitimately see, and that is not Arizona. We are not in a position to do that. Like I said, you guys let me know what you think. Or am I being delusional and we should just go get talent? Because maybe I'm just being delusional and we should just go get one of the best players in the entire NFL, regardless of the cap. Maybe I'm just loco in the cabasa. You guys let me know down in the comment section below for sure whether you guys would want Tyreek Hill or you want to stay away. It is a very interesting situation. This is a name that I've been seeing kind of get floated around and linked to the Cardinals a lot. I just wanted to give you guys my opinions and let you guys know I am not a fan of that whatsoever. I would rather get a receiver in the draft or somebody else in free agency. Like, genuinely, if you could sign T. Higgins, I would take him over Tyreek Hill any day of the week. He's a great contested body catcher. Somebody like Marvin Harrison Jr. Having 2 people on the outside would be great. And yes, they are kind of similar receivers, but again, Tyreek Hill is 31 years old. Not a fan of that whatsoever. Honestly, I don't even know if we should take the T. Higgins route. I think we need to go young, get a receiver to pair up with Marvin Harrison's timeline, and we'll be in a good spot. But like I said, let me know. But if you guys did enjoy today's video, man, consider hitting that subscribe button. I post Arizona Cardinals and NFL-related content. So if you're a fan of either of those, this is the perfect channel for you. But like I said, man, that is all I got for today's video. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. It's been your boy Mythic. Peace out.